Hello. Welcome back to my channel. If you've seen any of the latest booktube videos, you may have come across one from Noteworthy Fiction Nicole. The channel is Noteworthy Fiction. The lady is Nicole. In which she shows us all the books that she's planning to read for this last couple of days of the month. And I've been not doing as many, end of week updates because I don't want to give away what our prompts are for one of my teams. And most of my books have been arcs anyway, so I don't have them to show up on the screen. I have to figure that out eventually. Yeah, one of these days I will figure out how to put the cover on the screen using a Chromebook and preferably free software for digital editing. Yeah, hasn't happened yet. In the meantime, her video got me started thinking about all the books that I've got stacked up. And I have a few. Yeah, so I've pretty much finished the second round of bonus, the bonus prompts, the second round of prompts for Pick-Pong-a-thon now. And I'm not actually the leader of the pack by any means. Several people in my team are way ahead of me. And I know other people are way ahead of me too, because there's a reason we actually know what we have to do if we run out of round 3 prompts. Some people have. So, yeah, I don't know where I am as far as, page count compared to other people. I don't really worry about that. I'm still just adding my books to the team and hoping we win. Yeah. So, I'm starting in round 3. It's not giving away any secrets to tell you that round 3, we go back to our original prompts, the original 9 Pick-Pong-a-thon prompts, but this time they have to also have green on the cover because our team color is green. So, I have a stack of green books, and I'll show you what my books are. I'm going to be reading more than one at once. Now that I've finally gotten through with the last of the previous round, and I can start on the green books. I've been trying to do one book at a time. It takes forever. I don't know how you guys do it, because I'm not always in the mood for that book. So all that reading time that I could be reading something else I'm in the mood for, I end up having to do something else or struggle through the book I'm not in the mood for. So a 280-page-ish book took forever. Anyway, so I'm going to be reading more than one at once. Mood reading till they're done. Which means more than a few of these will probably be done by the end of August. It is August 26th. So not all of them. A lot of them. So I'll show you what my books are. I will not be telling you what prompts they're for, because that's still secret. Because these are not the bonus prompts everybody got. These are our prompts. I suppose it doesn't make that much difference. We only have a couple days left. But in the spirit of the thing. So I have a very green copy of The Good Earth by Pearl S. Buck. This one I've had since high school. This copy of this book. And I've never read it. So it is time. I have Wicked by Gregory Maguire. I've read the rest of the series. I just never got around to reading book 1. This one is green all over. Look at that, all that green. Before the modern era of sprayed edges. This is exciting. It has green edges. I have Shaman's Crossing by Robin Hobb. Yes, I know it's a fat book. It's a very nice fat book. It's definitely got some green on the cover. This one's actually one of my favorite covers from her books. It's so colorful. And if I'd been thinking of it, actually, well, I finished the live ship series. So now I'm starting a new series. When we needed a book with 5 colors on the cover from Tar, this would have been lovely, but I was not ready for this series yet. So this one would be a perfect example, though, of lots of colors on the cover. So for future readathons, if you're looking for a book like that and are into high fantasy, Shaman's Crossing by Robin Hobb. The paperback cover is a rainbow. Alright, we got book 3 of the Invisible Library series by Genevieve Cogman, The Burning Page. I have read books 1 and 2, so book 3 just happens to be green. This one, I will say, is a poll pick. A lot of teams seem to have gotten poll pick, so we do also have poll pick. And mine is The Empress of the Splendid Season by Oscar Huelos. And it's got green. The whole cover is a light green, which doesn't show up as well in some lighting. If you put it next to a blue book, it's green. And then the lady is wearing a very green, fluffy dress. There's something green behind her. Maybe her handbag? Some mist? I don't know. Anyway, lots of green. Oscar Huelos wrote The Mambo Kings Play Songs of Love, which I loved that book. And it was also a Pulitzer Prize winning book. So, good author. I got a couple of these at the last big library sale. So I'm hoping to read more of him the rest of this year. This one is another super colorful book. Tales of the City by Armistead Maupin. Or Maupin? I think he's French. Maupin? Yeah. Armistead Maupin. And I don't know how you'd say Armistead in French. It's not really a French name. Anyway. I know nothing about this except that it's on book lists. And I have the whole series, so I might as well start it. This is from the library. It's a short story collection called The End of the World is a Cul-de-sac. So I got sucked in by the title of it. And it's kind of an olive green with bright green text. I haven't read many short story collections for a while, so that one will be nice. And this one, not as much green, kind of beige and a very prominent green dress, but a very prominent green dress. Behind the Mask, this is the life of Vita Sackville-West. She was an LGBTQ pioneer in the celebrity world. So, yay. And is it George Sand? Might be. Anyway, she was connected to several other women in kind of that Paris scene, and yeah. So, anyway, this is an arc I've had since 2018, I think. No, it's worse than that. It came out 2015. I've had this arc for a while. And, last but not least, Inheritance by Christopher Paolini. I think this is book 3. Pretty sure this is book 3. And then the black one is book 4. Something like that. If it turns out to be book 4, I'll probably switch out something else. Because I don't really want to read it out of order. So I have a couple other books that are also green that satisfy that prompt. Anyway, that is what I'm going to be trying to read between now and the end of the month. And I might switch out a few. especially if I also find books that are green that have star-related words in the title. I haven't been doing as well with making both readathons work together, because some of the readathon prompts for Pickpongathon I don't have books for that have star words in the cover or in the title. And the extra points bonus for Battleathon for our team would be having star words in the title. So, but that's okay. I will say both of my teams are doing well. So, I'm not really concerned too much about that. And I have finished 19 books now for the readathons. Not as great as some months. We are on the 26th and I finished 19 books. So, yeah. Actually, I think I finished 20. There was one that I could count for Battleathon, but not for Pickpongathon, so 20. At least. Because some arcs I just have to read them before they expire. And they don't always work for a prompt. Battleathon, they don't have to work for a prompt. It's based on star ratings, and you just get extra points if they have your team's words in them. So, yeah, everything I read pretty much counts for Battleathon. Not everything I read counts for Pickpongathon. So, I will tally them up at the end of the month and see what I finished. Someday maybe I'll get a color printer or something. Because if I got a color printer, I could print out the little arc pictures and then hold them up and be like, this is a book I read. Without having the high tech of being able to post it digitally on the screen. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, yeah. One of these days I'll figure it out. The options I've been told so far don't work on Chromebook, by the way. So if you've suggested things that I should try on, my videos to put little pictures of books on the screen, the Chromebook version of those things does not work. So, yeah, I'm still looking around for a better option that I don't have to pay a lot of money for, because if my book budget is very highly dependent on free books, I don't have a lot of budget for subscriptions to things either. So it may be a while before this becomes a higher tech booktube channel. It'll probably be more about me talking about the books. I could do write out the titles in big bold letters and just hold the piece of paper. I can imagine that this was quite a bit bigger. I could hold it like that and talk about it. It would at least be a visual that would keep track of what title I'm talking about. I might think about that. Like cue card sort of things, or placeholders for the picture that would be there if there was a picture. Think about that. Because this month, my wrap-up is going to be very much arc heavy, because it's also Arc August. And I've been very much focusing on arcs. I will talk briefly before I sign off on this one about the last arc I read, because I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. So I got one called Re-Entry. It's about SpaceX and Elon Musk. Do we like Elon Musk? Probably not. As a person, he seems like an asshole. As a guy who is capable of making something like SpaceX, though, I can see why it worked. And if you've read the Ben Bova Grand Tour books, if you've read the first two in that series, they're not really centered around being in space. They're about getting to space and getting a moon base established long before they move on to anything else. The first book is, in fact, mostly taking place on Earth, and it's all about scrounging funding and resources and trying to work within the rules and breaking the rules and trying to launch something that goes into space at all to get to the moon. And that was way before Elon Musk started doing any of this. Don't remember when the first Grand Tour book came out. I'll look it up between now and the wrap up, but I have a feeling that Elon Musk, and he's roughly my age, I think. We're at least roughly in the same generation. So, yeah, I think he's in my generation. So, he would have been reading Ben Bova in like middle school. So, I could see him identifying with books like that. Because reading the actual story of SpaceX is like reading that book. And whatever you think of Elon Musk, SpaceX is the first entity of any sort to create a rocket that can go up and come back down and land. Like powered landing, where it doesn't just crash in the ocean and you have to go and find it. That's the kind of thing that happens in sci-fi. But until Elon Musk and SpaceX, it had never happened in reality. So that was really cool. And he has kind of this outsider effect that it happens in a lot of industries. If you have someone that comes in from outside the industry, they don't know all the reasons why nobody does it that way. So they just do it. And they get characterized as a bull in a china shop sort of thing. Like they're breaking all the rules and ignoring the rules and doing it their own way. Some of them fail spectacularly because there are reasons we don't do it that way. But some of them work. And those are the ones that end up making history and ending up in books like this. Because sometimes when you gamble on, just making it work anyway, sometimes it actually can. And he would eat through engineers and scientists and technicians like crazy because they burn out at his pace of trying to make these things happen, because they're the ones actually doing the work. And the criticisms of him that he's not the one actually doing the work, he's not. He's doing work, and I would say he's the brain that's leading the expedition, but he's not actually capable of doing most of the technical stuff that goes into doing all that, and he doesn't know why it won't work. So sometimes it doesn't work no matter what he says, and sometimes the rocket blows up. But he's also kind of like a personal trainer that pushes you way past what you thought you could do. Sometimes you can do it. So I don't think I'm ever gonna like him as a person, but I like these kinds of like near past histories that look at people like Elon Musk, because it's really easy to get tied up in not liking the dude. And I liked Twitter the way it was, and I'm really not fond of calling it X. It's a stupid name. Anyway, Twitter was a stupid name too. But tweets is a thing now. What do you call it if it's an X? What do you even call it? Yeah, so it's a stupid name. And since I was around when Twitter didn't exist yet and got used to Twitter, I'm like, not fond of change, stupid change. Yeah. So there's a lot of distractions in what he's doing that make it really easy to miss the SpaceX part. And once SpaceX went from being a startup company and to actually being an established company with a routine, or at least that wants to have a routine, or might have a routine. It's a different critter entirely, and maybe he's not as successful a leader unless that's not what he wants from the company. And it is possible that he wants it to go, well, in a completely different direction. He doesn't want it to level off and just do what it's doing. In the Ben Bova story, I think that might have been the one where eventually one company split off and just kept doing the things that they're doing. And then part of that company became like a sister company that did the exploration part so that the one wouldn't fail when the other did. Something like that. Anyway, I know I've read that in a sci-fi novel in which it was more about politics and economics and making it happen. There is a very, very small subset of sci-fi that's like that. So anyway, if you've been interested in that book but haven't quite wanted to check it out, it's an arc. It comes out a couple of months. I'll have to look at that before I talk about it at the end. Yeah, it's a good book, and disliking Elon Musk is not in itself a reason to skip this one. It is a significant bit of how we might actually get a space program that gets us to Mars or to a moon colony. And without any fondness for the dude, SpaceX is going to change whether or not it happens in our lifetime, basically. So that I do like, and yeah, it's an interesting book. Anyway, now that I've whittled on about a nonfiction book where most people don't seem to read a lot of nonfiction, let's sign off, and I'll get back to my reading because I have vanishingly few days to finish my stack of books. And I will talk to you again in a couple days and figure out a way to make a visual for my arcs, because I think I do want a visual, even if it's not going to be a picture of the actual cover. I'm not sure some of them would appreciate having the actual cover up either, so since they're mostly arcs, I might just do text on a piece of paper. Yeah, some of them I think their cover's changing. Yeah, because they had a cover. Now they don't have a cover. They're probably getting a cover, and it's not the one that I saw. Yeah. Anyway, I will see you guys in a few days, and happy reading, everyone. Hopefully you get some good books in for the rest of the month, even if you're not on my Battleathon team. I hope that you get at least a couple really good books between now and the end of the month. And I will see you again in a few days as we dive into September and my 4 September readathons. We'll talk about that later. Bye, guys.